Madrid has been slapped, funny, 3 times this year by Barcelona. Manny, is Madrid ready for the fourth slap? Welcome to the recap. Manny, is Madrid ready for the fourth slap, or are you guys finally going to slap back?
Hey, let's get one thing straight. It's been two slaps, the first two. That last game went to the final minute.
Who won?
Barcelona came out with the victory.
3 slaps. Slap, slap, slap. Barca are on a roll, dude. I feel bad for Mbappe because Mbappe was probably promised by Florentino. They're like, Mbappe, you're going to come here and you're going to win everything. And all Mbappe knows is getting his ass beat by Barcelona every time they play.
It's time for him to show the world what he's really capable of.
Okay, AA skills. If Mbappe comes to Madrid, Barcelona don't need to watch out. The world needs to watch out. Let's be fair. Mbappe is not having a bad season. He's having a great season.
He got off to a slow start, but he picked it up after the new year, and he's been putting up some great numbers. He scored more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo did in his debut season. So he's not having a horrible season like most people would let you believe. But
Correct.
you can tell that he was uncomfortable to start off in that nine position, and it took some time for him to adapt. But it looks like he's just getting better and better. He ended the last game with a brace. A lot of it came from Arda Güler, but we can get into that later. But at the end of the day, he put it in the back of the net.
It seems like he's having a bad season because Madrid ain't winning anything. But if you look individually, Mbappe is the only one that's doing anything in that team. And which is very concerning because you had a 10x Vinny who is minus 20. You have a Rodrigo who's already shopping around for other teams. And then you have Ancelotti that he's on the bench. And let me put, this is an iPad where you have all your tactical things. He's not looking at the tactical things. He's on houses.com looking for condos in Brazil. So with all that said, the only thing I see Madrid having a little advantage on Barcelona is that they'll be able to rest. Will that rest put Madrid at par or a little below Barcelona, or are we still looking at Barcelona like the huge favorite?
I believe Barca is the favorite just because they've been winning. But
Record and slapping around.
in my opinion, Madrid is right there with them. The last game went 2-3, extra time, the final minutes. So the match against Inter them down,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure they'll be at 100% on Sunday.
Let's go back to that game that they had this week in Real Madrid. Arda Güler played really well. It seemed like Ancelotti, why the heck have you not been playing this guy?
We've been saying it from the start of the season, bro. This is nothing new to us. Us that we've been watching every single game. We know what Arda can do. He would get in 5, 10 minutes a match and he'll pull off an assist or he'll score a goal. You see him in the Copa del Rey, he's got a couple goals.
Mhm.
So we know what this kid is capable of, but it looks like Ancelotti was just gonna sink with the ship if he had to.
Now, is Ancelotti going to actually be brave enough to go like a 4-4-2, or is he going to put Rodrigo, Beanie, and Mbappe on top?
We played somewhat of a 4-4-3, I mean 4-3-3 this past weekend,
You do.
but I don't.
You guys do play 4-4-3 because you guys play with the Rev. He's the 12th player. It's okay. We all know that.
Two missed penalty calls that match.
Now that you Madrid fans are,
Two missed
coming
penalties in
out and be
that
like,
match.
yeah, guys, we play with 12 players and sometimes 13 if you call the VAR. We get that. But you were saying, Manny.
Look, first of all, they were supposed to be down a player. They should have gotten a red card for that foul on Mbappe. He was by himself. He was taken off. He was on through on goal. That is a red card in my opinion. If our shirt was red and blue, it would have been a red card. But that's for another day.
No, no, no. But anyways,
I just
y'all
hope
wish her shirt was red and
that
blue.
I hope Ancelotti. No, we got 15, brother. I do not want a red
Hey,
and blue
where are
jersey.
those 15 this year? Where are those 15 this year? Let me know.
We'll be back. Can't win it every year.
So Ancelotti,
But it's all on Ancelotti's lineup, and it looks like he's finally starting to play with the lineup. He's going with the 4-4-2 sometimes. He'll start, and out of the goaler every now and then now. Even Endrick's getting a couple more minutes than he used to. So if Ancelotti is willing to make adjustments, I think we can compete with Barcelona. But if he's gonna go back to his usual lineup, He's going to play Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo no matter what. I don't think that's the key to success here.
Let's play the devil's advocate. Let's say Ancelotti is brave and he plays with a 4-4-2. With too many in the back, with Vasquez in the back, how do you expect to compete against Barcelona?
It's not looking good. I would not start Vasquez, if I'm being honest. I would start Fede at the right back, even though he played very well in the middle this weekend.
So who would be your
But
midfield?
if we're going 4-4-2, you got in the back line, you got Fede, Asensio, Tchouaméni, just because there's nobody else available.
Yeah,
And you
and Fran Garcia.
start Fran Garcia, which he did a decent job in the last Classico, even though, there was a wasted sub on Mendy, but that's
Right.
for another day. And then in the middle, you got, damn, there's no pivots.
You have Bellingham, you have Ceballos, Modric, and Arda.
Modric might have to start, or maybe
That's a
even a Rodrigo at a right mid. But
you're not gonna put Rodrigo as the right mid. So that's what I'm saying.
I,
I see a Vasquez, I see a Tchouaméni in the back line, and if you put Valverde, you got to put Valverde in the midfield, or else you're gonna have to play 4-3-3. There's no way, even if Ancelotti is brave, and which I don't think he's going to be brave. He's going to go back to his guns. He's going to go back to the players that he trusts. He's going to go back to a 4-3-3. But let's call it let's say that he does do a 4-4-2. You put Vini and you put Mbappe in the front, and then you put Bellingham, you put Ceballos, you put Arda, and you put Modric. That's a horrible midfield.
I don't think that midfield could compete. But we're really low on players that we have available, so we just gotta see what Ancelotti can do.
The Madrid camp, they're not that optimistic, are they?
Man, we've been having a bad season. Our players are just destroying their ACLs, their meniscus, everything. Nobody has a knee in the back line. And it's not been our year.
It seems like this has been the year if something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen. You got injuries. You have a horrible coach. Well, I mean, let's give Ancelotti more respect. He's a great coach, but this year is just not been coaching. You got players that are not running or not hungry. So if things were going to happen bad this year, it's happening this year.
Ancelotti, we should not disrespect him. He's brought a lot of titles to this team,
Correct. He's the most
but
winningest coach in Real Madrid history.
he's not a tactically advanced coach. He's not going to outcoach a Hansi Flick. He's going to get his guys fired up. He's going to play his best players. And, when our players are playing at their peak, we can beat anybody in the world, but it just hasn't been that way this year. You got Carvajal injured. You
True.
got Militao went down. Alaba's down. Mendy's down.
Shout out, you guys
Everybody.
are we there was a here we go with Trent.
Yeah, Trent's on the way.
Dude,
I
that's the
think.
biggest smokescreen. You guys are gonna learn next year why Trent is a horrible defender. He's
I
great going forward.
mean,
And you look against those mid-level teams, those teams that kind of play park the bus. Trent's gonna be great, but against a Barca, against a team that can actually play, just just pray and say, just pray, bro.